Courage to love.
Finn's lily pad circle.
By the sun-dappled emerald pond, where the water sparkled like a bed of jewels, grew a family of lily pads as round as full moons and as green as polished jade. This was the cozy, comfortable home of a little frog family. Their home was very special, made of 3 large, connected lily pad houses. The pad on the left had walls carefully woven from reeds by Papa, strong and cool. The middle part was Mama's kitchen and dining room, always smelling of delicious algae stews and sweet flower treats. The part on the right belonged to little Finn, who loved to paint beautiful rainbows on the smooth leaf surface using soft petals and colorful berry juice. Papa's name was Thomas. He was a weaving expert who could make all sorts of strong, useful furniture from slender reeds and bendy vines. Mama's name was Clara. She was a cooking genius who could turn pond algae, duckweed, and sweet petals into delicious snacks that everyone loved. And their child was Finn, full of imagination and always smiling. The long rainy season had finally passed, and warm sunlight filled the pond, bringing wonderful gifts. The pond's edge was piled high with new treasures Papa and Mama had gathered. Giant water lily leaves as big and strong as bronze shields, willow-like rushes that were soft and springy, fuzzy green water moss, sweet-smelling dried reed, and many colorful wildflowers. But with so many wonderful materials, what should they make first? A debate began early one morning when the dew was still fresh on the grass. "Look at our old moss plates," Papa Thomas said, slapping his wide-webbed hand on a thick, giant water lily leaf beside him. Droplets flew everywhere in his excitement. "They are cracked and dry like thirsty earth after a drought. Now look at this new leaf. Its surface is so smooth and flat, and the edges curl up so gracefully. They are perfect, natural soup bowls and plates. I even have my tools ready to see these vines, bent carefully over fire. They will make the strongest frames to make the plates last." Mama Clara shook her head. She laid a measuring stick made from a reed stem across another wide, broad leaf. "But dear, the moldy mushroom chairs are much more urgent. Don't you remember last week when Grandpa visited? His old chair went crack and crumbled into mushy pulp underneath him. He was so embarrassed." She gently traced the delicate, wob-like veins on the leaf before her, her voice full of hope. "See how wide and big this leaf is. If we pad it with soft water moss, it can become a breathable, comfortable lounge chair for napping, or a cozy seat with a backrest. We all need good rest." "Food container should come first," Papa insisted, believing a full belly was most important. "Rest furniture is more important." Mama held her ground, feeling a comfortable life was just as necessary. Their voices grew louder, filled with worry and disagreement, startling a few damselflies resting on the windowsill. Little Finn had been sitting in the corner, carefully drawing a family portrait on a dried sheet of reed paper. In the picture, Papa, Mama, and he were all holding hands and smiling happily. Hearing his parents argue, he looked up, blinking his big eyes, looking at upset Papa and then at worried Mama. He didn't like it when they argued. He wished they could always be happy and peaceful together, just like in his drawing. Suddenly, little Finn put down his reed paper and brush and plopped into the cool pond water. He didn't swim far, but busily paddled around the shallow water near his home. He pushed 3 medium-sized lily pads toward the shore. These pads weren't as huge and heavy as the one Papa liked, nor as enormously wide as Mama's favorite, but they were all almost exactly the same size, and their edges were still damp with morning dew, giving them a natural stickiness. When his parents finally noticed what Finn was doing, he had already been busy for a while. He was using the long, thin rushes Mama used for mending clothes to carefully thread through tiny, neat holes he had poked along the edges of the pads. His movements were gentle and focused, like a little tailor sewing the three separate parts together as if they were soft pieces of cloth. "What kind of wonderful magic are you making, little one?" Papa Thomas asked, forgetting the argument as he crouched down curiously, his eyes wide. "It's not magic, Papa." Finn looked up, his face breaking into a proud, excited smile as bright as the sun. "It's my new invention. It's almost ready." He tucked the last fluffy, golden dandelion, like a tiny sun, gently into a seam between the tightly connected parts, as if it were the final touch lighting up the whole creation. Then, a small miracle appeared before their eyes. The three separate lily pads magically joined together to form one big, perfect circle table. They fit together snugly, without a single gap. The table's edge was decorated with the little wildflowers Finn had tucked in white, yellow, purple like a lovely necklace for the compound. It was beautiful. Finn happily took his parents' hands and asked them to sit down around the circular table. "Look," he said, pointing to the very center of the table, his voice full of joy. "Papa's big soup pot can sit right here. Because the table is round, the pot won't tilt or slide no matter which side you ladle from." He demonstrated by miming scooping an air soup ladle for Papa. Then he turned to Mama, pointing to the curved edge of the table. "And Mama's comfortable backrest is right here," Finn said, leaning back gently. His little back rested perfectly against the softly curled edge of the pot. A few daisies tucked into the seam wobbled, tickling his back gently. It felt wonderful, and because it's a round table, it has no corners. Everyone can sit in their favorite spot, everyone can enjoy the warm sunshine, and no one gets left out. Mama Clara clapped her hands in delight, noticing another wonderful thing. "Oh, look in the pond. When the three of us sit around this round table, even our reflection in the water makes a complete, perfect circle. This is truly wonderful." Papa Thomas had to try something too. He gently placed the giant water lily leaf he had earlier wanted to turn into a plate right in the center of the round table. To his surprise, the big leaf sat steadily and perfectly on the curved surface. "It's true," Papa exclaimed. "This round table seems to hold things even better than one big plate alone. It feels more spacious and harmonious." All the earlier arguments and unhappiness melted away at that moment before this round table filled with love and wisdom, like morning mist disappearing under the warm sun. Papa Thomas, deeply moved, stretched out his strong arms and hugged his son tightly. "My little Finn, when did you, my little seed, grow into such a wise big tree? You are right. We should have gathered around like this sooner to talk properly, instead of each stubbornly holding onto our own ideas." Mama Clara bent down and gently kissed Finn's still damp forehead. "Sweetheart, you taught us something precious. The best ideas often don't come from stubbornly insisting on yours or mine. They grow quietly in the between space in our talking and working together just like the most beautiful water lilies blooming on the pond." That evening, the Frog family enjoyed a warm and unforgettable moonlit dinner. In the center of the round table, the giant bronze water lily leaf held Mama's specially made blue algae soup, garnished with glowing fireflies like a twinkling galaxy. The whole family sat comfortably on cushions padded with soft water moss, their backs against the flower-decorated table edge. Papa Thomas used the leftover materials to make several small lily pad snack holders for everyone. Mama Clara sewed soup with soft cushions using fluffy duckweed and feathers. The delicious food, comfortable seats, round table, and beloved family, everything was perfect. Finn took a bite of Papa's special crispy waterfly biscuit. It went crunch, He looked down at the lily pad beneath him, as if he'd made a new discovery. Papa, Mama, did you know? I noticed the little cracks on lily pads never grow straight and alone. They always curve and wander, this way and that, but in the end, they always cleverly connect to form little nets. That's how they can hold so many round, shiny raindrops tightly without letting a single one fall through. Mama Clara and Papa Thomas heard this, paused for a moment, and then looked at each other and smiled, their eyes filled with tenderness and understanding. In the moonlight, their long shadows fell upon the smooth table surface. Right there in the very center of the round table, the two shadows overlapped gently, connected closely together, inseparable just like the veins on a lily pad that never grow alone, but always meet and join.